Welcome back to the Roundtable here at Roundtable Talk, part of the Reality Realm Network, where we are here to talk about the latest episode of The Traitors. My name is Kevin Oliver.
And my name's Brett Parnell.
My name is also Kevin Oliver.
That's still a lie.
Well, this game involves lying, so my name is Bruce Heller, though.
And I'm dressed all fancy because I'm mourning the loss of my two favorite faithfuls.
For those not watching on YouTube, which I realize most of you do, Kevin is wearing a black suit jacket over his t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Very fancy. I approve.
I appreciate that. I had to go all out for my boys Bob H. and Wes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's get this thing on the road.
I mean, before we get started, I just got to point out that this episode had a viewing party at Allen's Bar in New York City.
I saw something about that.
And we saw the cast, I have to point it out, invite that woman right back on my poster, along with Ryan Kehoe from The Challenge and a few other reality names that haven't been on The Traitors before. So season 4 or 5, maybe?
I'm not familiar with that picture. Can you tell us who that is?
I might have to look it up. Just give me a second.
He means the picture behind you.
Oh, that would be Michelle from Survivor / The Challenge. And in the other one is from a challenge event I went to, Naya, Olivia, Mark Long, Derek Chavez, Keefla, Michelle, and Ryan.
I wanted to see how he'd react if I asked who Michelle was, and
he thought and it went right over his head.
We're off to a great start.
Okay, before we get started, I want to also mention a random tidbit from this episode that doesn't really hold any weight, so we don't have to discuss it, but I want to bring it up. At the end, when they do all of the candid shots of everybody back in their rooms while the traitors are meeting, did anybody else see that Scandival had a rubber ducky in the bathtub?
No.
It was, oh man, I was dying.
Wait, is there a C in his name? Is it Scandival?
No, it's Sandoval, but they call him Scandival since he cheated on his girlfriend.
And Scandal. I said some other people just to throw this out because I totally missed the picture till I got it brought up. But Kelly Nalbanian from Survivor 45 and Eliza Orlins from Survivor 9 and 16 were both present as well.
Kelly Nalbandian, who has a podcast with the Michelle Fitzgerald on Rob has podcast.
Who's that?
Rob has a podcast?
No, Michelle Fitzgerald.
Oh, well, I guess she's a big Survivor name or something. I don't know.
You host Tribal Council chat. We can move on.
I know. I'm joking. Saying the same joke twice is enough times. Well, with that joke, it is. Some of my other jokes are never going to die, but...
Bruce, I'm pretty sure one time was enough.
Well, I've already said it more than enough then.
Yeah, you have.
I'm an overachiever.
If that's what you want to call it.
That's what I'm going with. That sounds best.
Okay, if you say so.
So where are we starting it?
Probably at the beginning.
We should start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start.
Well, yeah, Kevin, we're not going to start at the mission.
Well, you asked, not me.
I forgot what the beginning was.
Like normal, I think
Breakfast.
It was the turret.
Well, yeah, the turret.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll just kick it off then. We get to the turret, and I saw a GIF that I sent to Bruce, but it was Boston Rob with the caption saying, "I'm once again on the buffoon tribe" or something, his quote from Survivor All-Stars. And basically that's exactly what's going on between Rob, Danielle, and Carolyn, who now all want to get rid of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Bruce, even worse at the end of the episode.
Bruce,
we'll get there.
You've pointed out on a other show that we haven't made an All-Stars reference in a long time. Well, I made one on this show.
Yeah, that's going to start happening here now, hopefully. Bring the
That would be
All-Stars jar
wild.
back that I never actually had but joked about having.
What?
The accidental All-Stars references on Tribal Council
Yeah.
that happened at a frequency where I joked about having a jar that I would put money in every time it came up.
I
and
remember
was
that.
going to pay for a vacation.
I remember that.
But I never actually had the jar, so I don't have any money saved up from it.
You also just don't have any money, so.
Well, sort of. I will tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, so the turret happened, and
Yep.
oh boy.
Oh boy, is right.
My favorite quote from the first turret, because we actually get turret at the end of the episode that we don't normally get, but my favorite quote from the first turret is Carolyn just saying, "There's nobody I want to murder other than you two right now."
Yeah, that was hilarious. But I mean, for her point in the game, also somewhat realistic. I'm not quite sure what is with her anger with Rob at this point, but Danielle certainly threw Carolyn's name out, and that would not go over well. Because if you're going to shoot at another traitor and they don't go home, you got problems.
I think it's not so much anger, it's just mistrust, because he went after Bob when Bob didn't word. Their argument is Bob didn't actually say your name. He implied his name, so I don't see the difference.
I'm on Rob's
but I
side
get
in
it.
that one. If Bob says the three guys that came into the game, one of them has to be a traitor, well then you're implying you want to get rid of all three.
I understand both sides of that one, honestly. Like, he didn't say his name, but he also did.
Yeah.
I don't think that, once again, that really held that much weight. I think Rob was looking for a reason to get Bob the Drag Queen out, because Bob the Drag Queen was
On a power trip?
yes.
Yeah.
Rob just didn't want to deal with him anymore.
Fair.
I think which is fair, but it's a lot easier to blame it on what he did. But I think Carolyn is just as mad about the fact that she still feels like she's not being heard.
Yeah, and I texted Kevin, I love this episode for Carolyn because she makes herself heard and like stands up for herself like 3 or 4 times throughout the episode. I love it so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
There hasn't been a bad episode for Carolyn yet all season.
No, her and Brittany Haynes were my two like stars of the episode this week because we finally got more Brittany confessionals, and I understand why I've been hearing about her so much now.
Yeah.
Her confessionals are hilarious, which we'll get to, but
they were great on Amazing Race as well.
What? Brittany was on Amazing Race?
Reality Showdown.
Man,
I guess I didn't know who she was yet.
We've already talked about this too, man. Get your head in the game.
Well, my head doesn't fit a ton of information in it at a time.
If you say so. But you're right. Carolyn hasn't had a bad game yet, or a bad episode yet. And I would, from a TV standpoint, I don't think Carolyn's ever going to have a bad episode of TV.
Yeah.
Correct. But this one was especially good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could kind of say it's a bad episode when you get 0 votes, but
still, I would argue that she still had a pretty good episode in the finale.
I mean, you would know about 0 vote finalists. Where were we?
This is just making fun of me all day.
Oh, Kevin does it to me. I have to lash out against someone, and it was there.
Hey, as long as I get to keep out of it, man.
No, you won't. I'll find a way to take a shot at you at some point.
If you say so.
Ha.
But yeah, anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Yeah, so Danielle says in the turret that it's like a family, and she proposes starting fresh and working together going forward, and saying she'll make things right with Carolyn.
Which I'm sorry, but when you've went around telling everybody in the castle that Carolyn's a traitor, how do you make that right? Oh,
Yeah.
I had a sudden revelation in the night. Carolyn's good. What do
Yeah.
you do? Like, you
Yeah,
can't
well,
backtrack like that.
I will say the conversation after this where they're discussing who to kill, I wrote down this is the most teamworky, rational convo I've seen in this turret.
Yep.
That doesn't mean very much.
But if you notice, the same result came out of the turret.
Yeah.
Boston Rob got his way.
Yep. That's what happens with that man.
Yeah.
In every single show he does.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Winters at War,
Yeah.
where the New School Alliance put him on the minority and then his second tribe never gave him a chance.
But the fact that
system
he
would work.
wasn't the first boot as
Exactly.
Boston Rob.
Fair enough.
Like, they voted out Natalie Anderson over Boston Rob when they had a chance to vote out Boston Rob. They voted out Danny Boatwright over Boston Rob when they had a chance to vote out Boston Rob.
His boot was also his fault because
they voted out Ethan Zahn when they had a chance to vote out Boston Rob.
And that dude was a cancer survivor. How do you vote out the cancer survivor before you vote out Boston Rob?
Because he's too likable to sit next to at the jury, I guess. I don't know. I didn't do it.
Yeah, but did they really think they were never going to have a chance again? It's not like he was the epitome of challenge beast.
He is the most friendly person ever. He would win immunity challenge based off of friendliness and likability alone.
Because that's how Survivor works.
The power of friendship.
Because that's how Survivor works. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. I make the rules now. He who wears the cloak.
That's a different show, buddy.
They're all the same thing. It's all different parts of one show.
I think Jeff Probst would have a very much to say about that.
I think Jeff Probst doesn't know what the Traitors is.
Oh, no, he definitely knows what it is. He doesn't watch it, but he knows what it is.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah. I don't think he watches any other reality shows. I think he doesn't. Said that.
He said exactly. He said that he's so busy with Survivor that he's happy that players like Carolyn, like Michelle, like Eliza have gone on to other shows, but that he's never watched one of their appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Rob's his favorite, though, so I thought maybe there'd be an exception this time, but that makes sense.
Maybe he watched Deal or No Deal Island.
He doesn't even watch other countries' versions of Survivor.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a picture of him with the Australian host a few years ago?
I don't know. I didn't see
that or something, I want to say. I don't know. But breakfast time.
Breakfast.
Yep.
And
you just saying breakfast time, but you're not gonna.
I was looking for. I don't have any notes before we find out who dies. I just have other Bob dies. Sad.
He can't be other Bob when there's the only one Bob in the castle.
Yeah.
The nickname stays.
It was never his nickname. He was always Bob H.
No, well, I referred to him as other Bob.
You literally referred to him as Bob H on this podcast.
I've said
last week.
I called him other Bob the first week in my notes. So
last week you called him Bob H.
Well, now I'm going back to other Bob. And you can't stop me.
Well, I'll just correct you. It's fine.
That's fine. You correct me a lot.
I do.
I usually earn it.
But usually it's out of wanting to joke about it.
Unless it's with my brownies. Then it was completely unearned on my part. But we don't need to get into that again.
Oh, my gosh. Bruce doesn't know how to cut a brownie. Just so everybody knows.
I know how to. I just took the piece I want and didn't want to do it the way everyone tells me to.
And what did your poll on Instagram find?
I have the Instagram poll proved that I have less allies on this than I have on the Kit Kats because I don't think a single person voted with me on that. I was kind of impressed. I didn't think the internet could agree on something 100%.
You proved them wrong.
I stand by cutting out a piece out of the middle of the brownie pan because I wanted a middle piece.
And he didn't even cut any other thing out of the brownies.
I only wanted one piece. I'm not going to waste time cutting a whole pan when I only am taking one piece.
It takes like a minute.
That's a minute I could spend being productive somewhere else.
You were not productive the minute after you ate the brownie, I promise.
I was eating the brownie quicker. Anyway, breakfast time. What is
Breakfast.
Danielle's hat is my next note
Oh
after
my
other
gosh.
Bob dying.
Oh my gosh, Danielle's hat was wild. It looked like it came from another country.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with that hat. Breakfast time fashion is like amazing.
It is.
Yeah, for real. And like you said, Bob Harper was murdered.
Sad.
It was a sad moment. Much love for Bob Harper. He was extremely pissed.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Did you guys see that? Like, there was a, I think they released it on YouTube, or it might have been Instagram or something, but where they started actually telling people who the traitors were as they were murdered.
They post that on YouTube every week.
Oh,
And
I just saw it for the first time like 48 hours ago, and now I'm like, they should put this in the show. It was amazing.
I've seen them on Instagram the past couple weeks. I haven't seen other Bobs yet, but
no, it's a few days after. But yeah, I watch them on YouTube. You can get them on Peacock's YouTube channel. And they do a whole lot more than that. It's like a 9-minute video.
I do love that Ion didn't know Survivor was a show and thought the survivors that were there were people that had survived a disease.
Yes.
That was funny.
I don't know if I've mentioned that on the show, but even if I have, it's funny enough to mention again.
Yeah, that was a good moment. And just being able to see like not only their reactions about who the traitors are, but like talking with the banished and the murdered, talking to each other, and things like it's really fun to watch.
Yeah. My last breakfast time note, Alan looking dapper as always. It's a bit more tame this time than the shiny teal Statue of Liberty suit from last breakfast.
I love Alan's shirt in this episode. My mom loved his beret, but I thought his shirt was fire.
I want the teal suit from last week.
You want to be the Statue of Liberty?
I don't need the Statue of Liberty crown. I just want the shiny teal suit.
Oh no, you got to wear the crown too.
Okay. Oh, and I have, right as they're leaving breakfast, Tom is finally throwing out a name. He tells Brittany he thinks it's Dolores. She shoots him down immediately, and he's like, no, stop. Listen, here's why. And we get a confessional of her saying Tom is on theory number 73, and it isn't even 9:30 a.m. yet.
Yeah, wait. Why'd you say he's finally putting out a theory?
He hasn't really set, well,
yeah, he has.
The past episodes, he hasn't really done much other than just standing around.
I'll bring you back to the Cage Boys when they first came in the castle. He stood there with Wes and Derrick and Rob and told them all of his theories, including
I forgot about that. Okay.
That he thought, and also you said finally, and then used a quote that was Tom's on theory 73.
Well, they don't show us everything, you ding dong.
I know, but my just point was he's been calling people out, maybe just not on camera.
Yeah, but we're finally seeing it. I forgot about the other one.
Yeah,
I can just sit back here and laugh at the two of you go back and forth.
But like, I kind of love Tom because like this whole season, I can't tell if he knows he's there or not. Because like, he's spaced out, standing on the stairs, staring at the coffins, and Alan has to say, "Don't dawdle." He's somewhere in the first few episodes with giant sweat stains on his shirt, and this week he's just he's at the round table pushing Dolores when the whole thing is Rob or Wes.
I think from what I've gathered from my sister, Tom's reputation has just got so bad lately that he wants to just sit under the radar and hope to just sneak to a final Jordan style.
He's been fantastic though. Like,
yeah,
he's hilarious, and part of that is he gives off this vibe. I can't tell if he knows he's there or not.
Yeah. So Tom I think the only reason he still is there is just the chaotic nature of the person he is. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody knows he's not a traitor, but I
I
think
mean,
at some point
are
they're
we
gonna be
thinking
like,
that makes him a Rob target in this turret that we end with?
I don't think he's gonna be a Rob target, because
Target.
I think that they realize that at some point the people in the house, especially the women in the house, are just gonna be like, all right, I'm tired of this dude. Especially if Chriselle has anything to say about it.
Oh, is that the one that's friends with the girl he cheated on?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And so my we also have this conversation between Wes and Derrick, where Derrick wants to go hard after Rob, and Wes isn't as sure. He doesn't want to hinge his whole game on Rob being a traitor or not. Which is funny because Wes was the first one to mention Rob's name after Bob went home. And so he's kind of pulling back a little bit now.
Because he realized that he overplayed his hand.
Yeah, he did. He does that a lot, actually.
But I still love Wes.
I do too. This is what he does. He gets cocky and aggressive and he overplays his hand.
And that can work in the challenge because if you're being just overconfident and cocky, but can win an elimination, you can still do whatever you want in that show. That
It's
does not
also
translate
backfired
well
for
into
him
this
in the
show.
challenge a few times.
Oh, it can, but I'm saying the challenge, no matter how the political game is going, you always have a chance to save yourself physically or mentally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This next scene is where things get interesting, where Brittany comes to Carolyn and asks Carolyn, "Did you say my name? Someone told me you said my name." And Brittany doesn't say the word Danielle, but Carolyn asks if it was Danielle, and Brittany kind of like nods and confirms it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, what happened to we need to be a team, we need to be a family, I'll be better tomorrow?
No. I don't think that has any bearing on this, because of the simple fact that you guys watched the episode. Danielle did not bring Carolyn's name up a single time after she said that. Those were all conversations that she had the day before that were just now getting to Carolyn that day.
Oh, I thought this Brittany conversation had happened
last episode.
Okay, I missed that.
But that's what makes this so difficult, is that so many things are being said across the game, and you don't know when they're being said. And if Carolyn finds out more information after Danielle said she's going to make it right, she's going to assume that Danielle's trying to play her.
Correct. It was not a good look at all, but that's what happened.
Yeah. Do we have anything else before the mission?
No.
I don't think so.
So we walk into the mission and we see a giant ominous cloak statue like this.
Traitor. They say it's a traitor.
I know. I wrote down giant ominous cloak statue before Alan started talking.
Oh, I'm just saying that's what Derrick said as they drove up. He goes, "It's a traitor."
Yeah. So this giant ominous cloak traitor statue is there. And they need to topple the traitor. And if they do, they bank $30,000. And there's these locked crates in the woods that have a number-based question. And if you get it right, you get the gunpowder inside. And if you get it wrong, the crate explodes. And you need enough gunpowder to actually topple the statue.
And then 3 of the crates also have shields.
Yeah. Well, you have one of the shields, though, as we learned on our show last week.
That only is good for one night.
Sweet, I can get the shield now.
Yeah, my shield is back up for grabs.
I want that shield now. Guess I'm going shield hunting after we stop recording into the jungle.
I don't think there's a mission this evening, so I don't think you're going to find it.
I'm gonna be Russell Hantz and find the shield without a clue, without the mission.
But that's not how this game works.
I'm combining shows.
That does not help you. You can combine shows. That does not mean that Alan Cummings is going to have shields available for you.
And I'm going to combine this show and the show that I do Reality Realm with without either of you and go upstairs and get the wine out after we finish podcasting.
When has that ever stopped you before here, Brett? Don't you remember episode 1?
Yep.
I would say I was going to crack the Mountain Dew after we stopped recording, but I already didn't wait that long. So, yeah, we need enough gunpowder to topple the statue at the end of the 30-minute timer, and they end up doing it.
Barely.
This shocked me.
It's like every other challenge mission on the traitors. They get it at the last second because that's how these challenges work. For some reason, and obviously it's not fixed, but they always get it with 2 seconds left.
But it shocked me that they did get it on this one because they were basically wasted 2/3 of the mission on getting 3 shields and not on any gunpowder whatsoever.
Yeah. Also, it's not all of them where they get it 2 seconds before. The Funhouse one, they didn't get it at all.
That's true. But here's the thing. For the 2 missions that they don't get in the season, that money just comes up for grabs in the last mission.
Yeah.
True. I did like that Funhouse challenge, though. That was fun to watch.
I did like it as well. Yeah.
I liked watching it, but when Carolyn said that she loves clowns, I was like, of course you do.
I've never heard anyone say that before. Clowns are fun. They're entertaining. I've never heard, I love clowns.
I've heard, I hate clowns.
Yeah. Clowns and mimes are cool, though.
Yeah, I don't mind clowns.
And magicians. Those guys are awesome. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Between Carolyn wanting to go for Danielle and Derrick wanting to go for Rob, at this point, I was definitely feeling like we were going to lose a traitor at Roundtable.
Going into this episode, I believed we were.
Yeah. And so...
But I was wrong.
Yeah, same. I didn't know if it was going to be Danielle or Rob, but I thought someone was going.
I thought it was going to be Danielle.
I thought it was going to be Drag Queen Bob again.
Oh, that's a good bet, yeah.
I think he's going to go home 3 episodes ago.
I don't think that there's a Edge of Extinction in the trailers.
That would be wild.
No Redemption House?
They just show up to the turret and Bob is there unexpectedly. I'm like, hey, I'm back. Guess what? And to add more chaos to the turret.
That'd be wild.
I want that now.
Battleback Traitors version?
They just show up to the turret at the end of the episode and Bob is there waiting for them. So good. They should put me in charge. But
thank God they don't. Oh,
yeah, that'd be terrible. The show would get canceled and be way over budget probably. But I would also be able to get you casted if I was in charge. So, but our next scene is we see Wes talking to Dolores, and we tell her that Tom threw her name out, and she tells Wes she'll address it at the round table. And I briefly thought we might see Tom go and how he could come off as suspicious because, like we said, he just doesn't seem to know what's going on half the time. And that could raise red flags. But alas, Tom did not go home or come close. So I was off base there.
Yep.
Yeah, you were really off base there.
Yeah, Tom
I
did
thought
not
that
go
for
anywhere.
like a minute, but...
That at least yet.
Yeah, well, Tom's just an idiot. He's fun to watch, but he's an idiot.
Yeah. He at least talks. Sam has said like 3 words the whole season.
I know. Hence the reason why we named a whole episode after Sam is speaking.
Yeah, and he not only doesn't talk, but doesn't get screen time either. So I'm not convinced he's real.
So next episode, I'm gonna make a prediction that Sam speaks out against Boston Rob.
Whoa. I'm not convinced Sam is real.
Is Sam going to be alive to speak out against Boston Rob next episode?
I don't know because I thought Sam was my pick for murder this time, and that
would be a good murder because
I think Sam will be around. I will answer that question at the end of the episode when we do our predictions for next time.
Okay.
But you just answered it. You said you think he will be around.
But I mean, like, I'll go into more detail.
Sounds good.
Why I think he'll be around.
So next we see Derrick pulling Ivar aside, and Derrick trying to subtly hint at going for Rob at Roundtable tonight, and Ivar is just not picking up on it with any sort of quickness, which was hysterical to watch. I love Ivar. Well, not love. I like Ivar.
He's Ivar. What do you expect?
He's kind of fun. I like John better, but Ivar's fun.
Yeah, he's all right.
So Brittany comes to Derrick next and tells Derrick that Wes is on a witch hunt for Rob, even though at this point Derrick is the one leading that, which is kind of interesting. And Derrick tells us in a confessional he thinks Brittany might be a traitor because she's been very quiet, and if you've seen her on Big Brother, she's not quiet. Which was another funny confessional.
Yeah.
And so that was my last note before the roundtable, unless you guys have anything.
I don't really have anything.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Let's go to the roundtable.
So Tom opens up the roundtable immediately because of course he does, going for Dolores.
Which is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
And everyone, the funny part to me is Dolores barely even needs to respond or defend herself because everyone just kind of shrugs it off, and Derrick starts his case for Rob next.
3 housewives. What?
Derrick makes a very strong case against Rob.
Hang on, though. 3 housewives have been murdered. If Dolores was a traitor, that would be way too obvious.
But the housewives tend to stick together, though. If I was there, I would think that you wouldn't be one because the housewives are getting murdered.
That's what I think it'd be way too obvious if Dolores was a traitor, because if all the housewives are getting murdered except for you, what does that say about you?
That you're next?
No, because she's not next. We've seen other people get murdered since then. Bob H. was not a housewife.
That you know of?
No, he was a Bambi, not a housewife.
Bambi wife.
But not a housewife.
Yet.
Still, not a housewife.
Real Housewives of the Biggest Loser.
I'd watch.
So Derrick goes for Rob at the roundtable. He makes a really strong case, in my opinion. And Rob makes an equally, in my opinion, strong defense and basically says the traitors baited Derrick into this and asked who was smart enough to do that, and tells 3 or 4 people, says that 3 or 4 people heard his name and they all said it came from Wes. Knowing Rob is a traitor, great deflection. If I didn't know he was a traitor, I would kind of be in trouble on who to vote for here, because I thought both of these arguments were really strong.
I don't know if I see Rob's as strong as Derrick's, but he did what he had to do to get the job done, and it worked for him. So, I mean, I agree with you. It was...
Yeah, and now he knows Derrick's coming after him. He can't kill him because that's too obvious, but Derrick's at least on his radar now.
Right.
Whereas coming into the episode, I don't think Derrick was somebody he knew he needed
to... The only thing is, though, is that can he not kill him? Because no matter who's a traitor, it's so blatantly obvious that people will target Rob, and if it's Derrick, that, like, if I'm not a traitor, I'm going to kill him anyway.
But then Derrick brought up that whole thing of, I'm going to die tonight, and Rob's going to say, look, they're trying to frame me.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say, while we're talking about Derrick here, nobody on the Traitors has ever sussed out something as well as Derrick did here.
Yep.
Not only did he suss out the traitor, but he literally said what happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said this all started when you guys didn't bring that guy into the castle, and that guy behind me made him a traitor when he brought him back into the game. That was incredible.
Yeah. Very well done. I have not met Derrick before the show, but I enjoy watching Derrick on this show. I think he's been incredible so far.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically, you've never met anybody on this show, but
Well, not. I've met them on my screen.
yeah.
So, where was my next note? Yeah. And I do love Rob calling out his quote fellow traitors. Why would the traitors not murder Ivar? Like, Ivar's catching strays here.
Yeah.
And also Wes versus Rob was just kind of a surreal battle for me as fans of them separately. Having them on my screen at the same time has been super cool.
But sadly, no more.
Yeah. So.
As Wes gets banished here.
And I will say, I think Wes misplayed the roundtable with the whole "if you vote for me, I'm coming for you" thing.
Well, and
that just
Derrick
made more people want to vote for him and send him home, so they don't have to worry about him coming.
And Derrick makes that point afterwards too. He's like, Wes lost the game for himself.
Yeah, for sure.
Which he did.
And he's done enough challenge seasons and been playing these games long enough. I feel like he knows better than to make that move. But I guess it was a desperation move.
Yeah, what else was he going to do at that point?
I don't know, but I definitely feel like there are a few people that probably voted for him because he said he would come for whoever voted for him. And they just figure send him home so you don't have to worry about it. Like, I feel like if he doesn't do that, maybe Rob gets the votes to go home.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, it's definitely possible. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Wes gets banished, flips people off on the way out, pulls an Andrew Savage. And I was sad to see Wes go. I love Wes. I
was sad to see him go too.
Sad to see Wes go.
Get him on Survivor, please.
That will never happen.
I know it won't, but I want it.
Might.
Jeff Probst does not like to do the crossover thing.
Hayden Moss, Caleb Reynolds.
Yeah, 2 out of 700 and what people.
I don't think it's because it won't happen. Not because Probst doesn't want it to. Because I don't see like Wes, someone like a Wes or a Bananas that are on shows consistently enough to want to go spend time starving and struggling out in the jungle.
No, that's valid. But I also
they've got kind of cushy lives here, it seems like. So I don't see them wanting to do Survivor for that reason.
No, that's valid too. But it's also Survivor's pretty protective of their own talent. And that's just the truth. I mean,
not so much that they didn't do a returning player season for 10 seasons, watching talent walk out the door, both to Peacock and to MTV.
Huh?
I said not so much that it took them 10 seasons to do a returning player season, and Peacock and MTV have been taking all their talent.
Yeah.
That's valid.
And like taking their legends too.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the only person from Peacock or that's went to Peacock from Survivor that would even be in the running to go back on a returning player season is going to be Carolyn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rob and Parv have both said they're done with Survivor and have accomplished everything they want to.
Well, I don't think there'll be a single winner on 50.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I don't think so, but I hope there is.
I wonder which one you're hoping for, Bruce.
There's a
Huh.
couple. It is D, but it's also Natalie. I want to see Natalie again.
That's not gonna happen.
I
Yeah,
know, but I didn't say it would. I said I want it.
fair.
I know.
And my wish is the rest of the world's command.
No, it's not.
Can it be?
No, it can't.
Aw.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll let you cry it out.
But we going to the turret. Oh, no, round table. Carolyn spoke up for herself.
Yeah,
Says that Wes is a scapegoat. She goes after Danielle. Said she thought she had an ally until multiple people came to her saying not only saying her name, but that she was stirring up chaos saying other people's names. Brittany claims that she was the one who told Carolyn and about that, and Danielle insists that Carolyn did say Brittany's name. And I wrote down, I don't remember that happening. And then it was explained to me what she meant in the turret later.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to that because I have a funny note about that. I put Carolyn should mention Jeremy. Oh, as I was typing that, she did. So time for talk is over, and I didn't know who was going to go home. One of the closer roundtable votes we've had.
Yes, sir. 7-5.
yep.
Yeah, and so
And then a couple stray votes.
yeah, and Carolyn again votes for Danielle and speaks up for herself again and says, "Next time I'll try not to cry. Actually, I'll cry more." And I love it. This is like one of the best Carolyn episodes we've had this season because she's finally making herself heard.
Yeah.
And I love it. Good for her.
She's great.
Yeah, she is.
And this is my last roundtable note. Dolores votes for Tom. I forgot about that argument because it became Rob or Wes the whole time, except for Tom starting it with Dolores and getting shrugged off.
Because he's a ding dong.
He's a fun ding dong, though.
Oh, absolutely. Great TV.
Like, him just standing there with a blank stare on his face looking at the coffins as everyone's walking away is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
So, the turret. Danielle comes in complaining about Carolyn.
Wait.
And
Wait. You skipped a whole. Whoa. That was fast.
Okay, this will do for now. We don't have that much left. Then I'll figure my computer out later.
Okay.
Sorry,
So, Bruce,
for those of you listening, my computer stopped recording because it says it was full. So, and I don't know why, but that's not the point. I was in the process of being fussed at. Continue.
No, I was telling you to stop because you skipped a whole scene. What do they always do between round table and turret? They always go back and they talk to each other. And we see at least one important thing that we saw was Brittany raked Derrick up the wall for lying to her.
I did miss that, and I have notes about that too. Huh.
Yeah, that's why I was stopping you.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah.
So Brittany pulls Derrick aside to yell at him and confront him for lying to her about leading the charge against Rob. And he tells her that he thinks she might be a traitor. And in a confessional, she goes, "He lied to me about going after Rob, and somehow he's mad at me. What kind of man logic is that?" Again, her confessionals are great. I finally get the hype I've been hearing about her for so long.
Yes, sir. She is the queen of confessionals.
Yeah. So we also get a confessional of Danielle complaining about Carolyn, even saying, "Lord, give me the strength to deal with this woman." And I just wrote down, this isn't her fault, it's yours.
That's true.
You brought this on yourself. I get you're frustrated, but
when you're talking about Brittany and Derrick, though, Derrick then went and talked to Dylan and told him that he thinks that Rob and Brittany are both traitors, and that loyalty to work with him because loyalty goes a long ways with him, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that friendship goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Dylan already stuck his flag in Rob's court, but we'll see what the events of this evening do to that.
Yeah. So we get to the turret, and it's just chaos. Carolyn calls Danielle out for telling Brittany that Carolyn said Brittany's name. Danielle says, I did. You did say that. And when Carolyn's like, when? And Danielle said, you said her name as someone to murder, which is the explanation I was missing earlier, by the way. Carolyn and Rob's face when she says that were fantastic.
Yeah.
Just utter shock and bewilderment. And I wrote down, this is all chaos, I wrote down, is Rob the sensible one in the turret somehow?
Nah, I'm still planting my flag with Carolyn there.
I think I am too, but
I think I am as well, but Rob is still getting what he wants, so he's the most successful so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also love Rob says, I don't even know what to do at this point, and Carolyn just very matter-of-factly, I know what to do. Go after Danielle.
Yes, sir. And that's why we saw the turret this episode, because they're still going to give us a lot of turret content at the beginning of the next episode, because at this point, they still haven't even discussed the first thought of who they want to murder. They're just yelling at each other.
It's like Rob said, and like I saw Cerise say on Instagram today, this is the worst group of traitors we've had as far as trying to accomplish traitor goals and traitors winning the game.
Absolutely.
They're also the most entertaining group of traitors we've had. So
absolutely.
But in our trailer for next week, this is my last note, we get a face-to-face murder next week.
And for those of you who don't know, Bruce has been like freaking out about face-to-face murders since he heard they did it in the UK.
I saw a video of it on Twitter, and I thought it was really cool a few weeks ago. And now they're doing it, so you're welcome.
That's interesting, because I totally missed the preview. I had to go back to work.
Oh, man.
That sucks. So I'm excited for this. I want to see how this goes.
It's going to be wild.
And they listened to me very quickly. I said it a few weeks ago, and now it's happening. So I'm going to claim this, much like I claim Oreo ice cream cones.
Bruce, I just want you to realize they filmed this in March.
And then they went back and refilmed it after I said that. Isn't that so nice of them?
How thoughtful. How thoughtful.
They flew all the way back to Scotland.
Unlike the Oreo ice cream cone people that took my idea and had my college cafeteria bugged, trying to steal my ideas.
Yeah, okay.
I invented those.
We do not need to rehash this on this podcast as well.
No, we don't.
Pretty sure we've rehashed this on Tribal Council chat and Pit Stop Pals before, and I think that's good enough.
And I'll text you about it on Snapchat sometime later in the week.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I'll tell you how wrong you are. I'll bring it back up.
So, that being said, that was it for the actual episode this week. But now I want to hear, what does everybody think about Murder and Banishment for next week?
Murder next week, Sam. Banishment next week, Danielle.
I was going to say Silent Sam gets murdered and Danielle gets banished.
Copycat.
I was thinking it. He just said it first.
Okay, well, I'm going to be the odd man out here. I am on Lord Ivar gets murdered. I think that Rob was Rob mentioning that Lord Ivar should not still be alive is speaking to what's going to happen because he is such a confirmed faithful.
But does that not make it look suspicious that Rob says this person should be dead and then they're dead?
I don't
Anything
think so.
looks suspicious from Rob at this point.
I don't think so, because when Rob was saying that, he was saying that from the viewpoint of everybody else.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And he explained enough why it would be. Plus, you could make the argument that it was a frame job on Rob at that point.
Yep.
Because he brought it up.
Yeah, Rob was framed.
But
You're
that
right.
being said, I think that next week's banishment is Boston Rob.
Ooh.
I think he can only.
I hope you're wrong, but I can see it.
Yeah,
I think he can only evade for so long. Boston, there's no way. I know for TV wise, we'd love to have him all the way. There's no way that he should have made it through the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
Let alone to episode 7. So the fact that he's here still, for my viewing standards of what I expected from Rob, for who he is, it's a win. It was a win 3 weeks ago when he was still in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so at any point now, I will not be surprised if Boston Rob is gone. I am 99.
But at the same time, the last time that Rob did go very early, I said for my viewing standards, Tony's been in the game long enough and he's going to go any day now, and he went all the way to the end and won. So
this is a completely different kind of game.
It sure is.
I am 99.999% sure that Boston Rob will not win this game.
Oh, I am too.
Until he comes back from Castle of Extinction.
No, the Redemption House.
No, the challenge already has Redemption House. We need a new name, Castle of Extinction.
That's just close to Edge of Extinction.
Down the road.
Castle, I changed the word.
Just down the road from where they currently are, Ivar has Balmoral saved up as a place to go after he gets murdered.
There you go.
Ivar House. That's what we'll call the redemption twist.
There you go, the Ivar House.
And ironically, Ivar's never there because he doesn't get voted out. They just call it the Ivar House is the name of the twist.
I like it.
And then John comes back somehow.
If you say so. Anyway, so those are our predictions. We got Silent Sam and Danielle from the 2 Tribal Council chat boys. And then I say Ivar and Boston Rob. We will see which one of us comes out being correct or if all of us are wrong next week on Roundtable Talk. Thank you for joining us. Unless anybody has anything else to say, please check out the other Reality Realm shows, Tribal Council Chat, Pit Stop Pals, New Generation Challenge podcast. Check out our merch store on Redbubble. And Bruce, you want to close us out here?
Don't get murdered.